Hi traders, and welcome to today's ACY Securities Forex Market Analysis. My name is Duncan Cooper and I will be your host. Today we'll be focused on the US dollar to the Japanese yen. So first we'll look at the news items coming out for the week, and then we'll have a look at the charts. Hi traders, just at forexfactory.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing the dollar Japanese yen, so I'm going to look at the news items coming out for the week that could affect that pair. Now the time's shown on my time in Queensland time. So Wednesday the 5th, this evening we've got the US ADP non-farm employment change coming out. That's 11:15 PM my time. Then into the morning of Thursday, 5 AM, we've got the US FOMC meeting minutes coming out. And another big one coming out, getting into Friday. First thing in the morning, 1 AM, we've got the US ISM Services PMI coming out. But more importantly, later in the day, 11:30 PM my time, we've got the US unemployment rate coming out. So some high items coming out. It is the first week of the new year. People may be still on holiday as well. So lots of things to consider. So those are the news items that could impact the dollar Japanese yen for the week. So let's get into the charts. Now, an interesting start to the new year. We've broken above major resistance. So this is the monthly chart. First of all, we are seeing higher bottom to a higher top, higher bottom, moving further up. And this major range, monthly resistance was here at 114.72, and the major range was bound down to 101.18 support. And at the moment, we are breaking above that area. So we've broken above 114.72. And we just go back over a few months. November we rejected. December we traded back up, and at the start of the new year, start of January, we've broken above. Okay, so we're heading up towards the next level of resistance. Next level of monthly resistance is here. Hold support at 116.46, and if we can move higher, the next target really over the next month or even this month would be up here at monthly resistance at 118.65. So the first challenge for this continued up move would be this area of resistance at 116.46, and we got close to that yesterday. So price action trend is up, higher tops and bottoms. MACD trends up. So can we continue with the breakout that we're seeing? So the monthly trend is clearly up. Weekly, it was negative until we broke above this high here. So let's just put in support and resistance first of all. So weekly support would be the high we've just broken. That is at 115.51. So I like to put in the exact numbers. It's 51.6. There we go. So let's just have a look at the trend. MACD has crossed up now, but until we broke above this high at 115.51, that was yesterday we broke above. The trend on the weekly was actually down. We rejected the 114.72 area to a lower bottom, and then it's been rallying up over the course of the last 5 weeks. And there will be a lot of people short, thinking that the weekly trend is going to hold here. Maybe there was a head and shoulder pattern forming here around about the 114.72 area on a retest. But as we've been heading into the new year, price has moved above 115.51. I'm sure lots of stops went off yesterday, and the question is, is it going to hold now at monthly resistance at 116.46 in the short term? Is it going to have some form of a pullback, or just continue moving up? So the weekly trend is up, MACD trend is up. The question is this a false break? Just lots of stops moving price action through in light trading through the holiday period, or are we seeing a continued trend moving up? Alright, let's get to the daily chart. Just in terms of resistance, I put in weekly support here at 115.51. Weekly resistance would be 116.46, that monthly level up there. To the daily, there you can see that big day yesterday. So the trend is clearly up. On the daily chart, we've broken above this weekly resistance top at 115.51. MACD is up. So clearly all trends are up. And really I'm just looking for a pullback, and the most obvious level for a pullback is this weekly top here. So in terms of support and resistance, on the daily chart. I'm just using the high time frame level, so looking at 115.51 as support, and at the moment the most obvious level of resistance is 116.46. If we can continue up, my longer term target would be, just squashing this in, the 118.65 level. So if we do break above 116.46 with a clear conviction, then over the next month 118.65 is the target. Alright, so in the short term, how do we take a trade, or how do we look for a trade? So just getting my drawing tool. The most obvious scenario would be that we're probably going to see some resistance where prices move to, and in fact if I just get rid of my drawing tool for a moment, I'm just going to put a fib across this range, and what you'll see is that as we were tracing back up here in the first instance before we did the breakout, we came up to the zero level, and you'll see that we've moved through the zero level and got up to the 127% retracement level. That's beyond the 100% level. So that can often put in a short-term top of that area, and that's just short of that monthly resistance level at 116.46. So we are on the daily chart, even though we're in a clear uptrend, a little bit overextended in the short term. So it's worth noting that there's that fib level there, the 127R level, 116.32, pretty much where price stored at yesterday. So I'm anticipating we'll have some form of short-term pullback. Doesn't have to pull back, but it's definitely overextended, and I'm looking for a short-term pullback. So let's get my drawing tool back now. From a day chart perspective, looking for some short-term pullback, and ideally pulling back and holding at 115.51. If this uptrend is going to maintain itself, it should pull back and hold at 115.51 or above, and then we should see a further move up and a further attempt to break through 116.46. Okay, that's the daily look. Let's just move it to the 4-hour chart. How can we look to trade on the 4-hour chart? For me now, in an ideal world, is for this to pull back again, as I was showing in the day chart, back to 115.51. Can that level hold? If it can hold, what I'd like to see then is a new established 4-hour uptrend form. So price comes back up, pulls back, starts to form a higher bottom, and in that area where it starts to form a higher bottom, I'm going to drop down to a lower time frame, look for an opportunity to buy, to trade up for this, for a retest of 116.46, if that's how price works. Of course, as well, there's also a bearish view that could happen. So that's the bullish view in line with the high time frame trends. What could also happen, because we could be dealing with maybe a false break in light trading through the holiday period, this could come up for a retest of this area, then start to sell off, started putting a downtrend on the 4-hour chart. It could hold here and then turn around, or it could move below 115.51. If it breaks below 115.51, that's bearish. Then look for price to move back up. Does 115.51 become resistance? If it does, then in that area on the 15-minute chart, I'm going to look for an opportunity to trade down from that level. Alright, so those are the two scenarios. So there's leaning more towards the bullish scenario, pull back to 115.51, dropping down to a higher time frame to look for an opportunity to buy. But there's also that opportunity there that if 115.51 doesn't hold, we might be dealing with a false break then, and we might see price action trade back down below 115.51. In terms of a target to the upside, if we can hold at 115.51, just clean things off. Let's go back to the weekly chart. Is at the moment we're obviously testing 116.46. If we get a clear move through that level, the obvious target then is over the next month to 2 months is a clear move up to 118.65. Okay, we've already put in 100 pips yesterday to around about 116.30, so there's only 230 pips to go, so we could actually do that in a week or less, but we may obviously need some form of pullback in the short term. So short to medium term target, break above 116.46 would clearly have in the horizon 118.65 as a clear target. Okay traders, that's my first analysis for the new year. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time.